These lashes keep freaking me out because I can feel them like on the top of my eyelid, and that's a weird feeling. I don't expect anything up there except my brows. They do make me feel very fancy though. I had to like glam it up with some extra makeup and some earrings and then I have my t-shirt on and my pajama bottoms. Hello everyone, I'm here today to share with you guys another buy video. And today we're going to be talking about the company Makeup Revolution. And this is a brand that started online. They're now being sold out of Ulta and they have a wide range of products. They are most known for creating more budget-friendly versions of higher end products, sometimes very much alike and sometimes just inspired by. And in traditional buy or buy form, I'm going to be doing an emoji rating system for you guys. We'll talk about the 5 emojis out of 5 products, as well as the 1 or 2 emoji out of 5 products, and just share with you my thoughts on the brand. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up if you do. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos, and click the little notification bell so you know when it goes live, and check out the playlist. I'll link it down below for you guys, and at the end of the video of the playlist that I do all my other buy or buys. I've done other brands. A lot of you guys have been asking, oh, do this brand, do this brand. Check out that playlist because it's probably already in there. I've done Urban Decay, NYX, Essence, just a bunch, Tarte. I've done a bunch of them. So you can go and check those out if you're interested. And without further ado, let's get into this. So for the emoji today, I was thinking of like Makeup Revolution. And there are multiple ways you could go with revolution. You could go super violent or you could go really spinny. I'm gonna go the spinning route. Think like revolving, like 1 revolution, 2 revolution. So I'm gonna use the dizzy spinning stars, and we're gonna start with 5 out of 5. So think of it like, you know those science experiments where they had the test tube with those like perfect cyclones of water in the middle and it would just go down and just kept going and going. You couldn't stop staring at it. That. I'm gonna start with their concealer. This is their Conceal and Define concealer. It is a medium to full coverage concealer. A lot of people have been comparing it to the Tarte Shape Tape, and it is a fantastic concealer, guys. I have been using it a lot. It is one of my like top 3 that I always go back to. I know it's gonna work, it's gonna cover well, it's gonna sit well on my skin. It does oxidize a little bit on the skin, so I do go a shade up for underneath the eyes, but overall it just smooths out perfectly. I love this concealer. Now onto a highlighter palette, so X, and this highlighter palette, guys, like, I have no words. Like these 3 shades here, like blended together in your skin, it is unbelievable. Seriously, I want to bathe in it. These highlights are so creamy and so beautiful on the skin, nice and pigmented and just like beyond. I love the fact that I can kind of mix and match and play with them. I love that they have a little pop of color. Like this is such a great highlighter palette. If you haven't gotten your hands on a highlighter palette yet, this is a great one to start with. I love it. Going along with highlight, I also really like their liquid highlighters. This is the color Champagne, which is probably my favorite of all of them. And they are very comparable, I find, to the Cover FX drops, and like they're just really over the top. You can use them by themselves and it's still really pretty, or you can put a powder highlight on top. Like look how reflective that is. That's crazy. It blends out really nicely. It has more of like a serum-y, almost an oily kind of consistency, but I don't mind it. It's not super oily, and I've blended it in with my primers or my foundations. I've used it just on its own. It's a really, really good one. Now onto their lipsticks, and their lipsticks actually were very good quality. I have 4 of them here in different shades, so I'll swatch them for you so you can actually see. This one is Vow, which is more of like a nude kind of pinky tone. Very, very pretty. They are super smooth, despite the fact of my horrendous... Do you see this swatch? Like, what am I doing? I can't swatch with my left hand, guys. The consistency of these is very, very creamy. They're not long lasting at all, but the colors are beautiful. They show up really nicely and nice, like a satin finish to the lips. This one is Prime, which is more of like a pinky mauve tone. Again, really, really pretty. The other 2 I got are very bright. This is Date and Restore. These ones stain a lot on the lips. So that's one thing just to keep in mind. So I'm gonna swatch them on my hand, like on the center of my hand, because I have to go somewhere tomorrow and I don't want bright red stains on my arm. So that one right there, super pretty Barbie pink. That is Date. And then the one beside it, this is Restore. Again, look how beautiful and creamy and like just lovely they are. They are fairly staining, so either like put a primer on your lips first or just be prepared to have your lips look a little bit stained. It does come off eventually, but you're gonna have to use like an oil-based remover. Now I need to take this off before I get it on everything. Now onto their eyeshadow palettes. These are their Reloaded palettes. So they have their Iconic Division, Neutrals 2, as well as these 2 over here. What do we have? We have Iconic Vitality, and Iconic Fever. And these are all dupes for really well-known palettes, so the obvious ones being over here like Subculture and Modern Renaissance. I find the quality of these are really nice. You get a lot of eyeshadow for the price. I think that the combinations are really pretty. There are mattes, there are shimmers. They all work really well for me. I've had a lot of success with these palettes, and I think they're fantastic. I was also really impressed with the Soph X eyeshadow palette. I've been playing around with a lot of the colors here, mostly sticking into more of the neutrals, but she has a good blend of colors as well as neutrals, mattes as well as shimmers, and they're all like really creamy and blendable and smooth and just like beautiful. Like, look at that. I loved the quality of this eyeshadow palette. I thought it was awesome. She did such a good job on both of these palettes, actually. Highly recommend. Another product I really loved was their little duo they came out with. This is their Bronze and Glow Powder Bronzer and Highlighter Duo. Great combination. The bronzer is really pretty. Like, it matches my skin tone really nicely. And the highlight, like, really on point, very creamy, very pretty on the skin. I loved the color of it. It was just, it gave a nice pop. It was very neutral, very easy to use on the skin. Like, I loved this highlight. I also really liked their brow pomade. This is probably as good to me as the ABH one. The reason I like the Benefit one better is I love the little brush that it comes with. I like that it's the duo, so that is still my number one, but this is as good as the ABH one. And the amount of product you get is really good. The quality of it is really good. It blends into the eyebrows really nicely, has good staying power as well. The shade I have is medium brown, which is a nice ashy tone, which I really like. Now to some products that were okay, like 2.5, 3 Dizzy stars out of 5. They weren't terrible, but they weren't my favorites either. There really wasn't anything from this line that I tested that was just straight up awful. So think of it kind of like when you spin a lot in your chair and then you get up and you're like, I'm fine, and then you fall over. So the first one is their Luxury Baking Powder. This is the lace one. I tried out the banana one, but it was way too yellow for my skin tone. I think like a lot of people talk about it, how much they love it. So I was excited to try out the lace one, which is better suited for people who have a lighter skin tone. However, I found that when I used this for baking underneath the eyes, it set a lot darker. So it made my concealers all look a lot darker and a lot more heavy under the eyes, which I wasn't a big fan of. I do love the effect if you just kind of lightly brush it over. It gives a nice like blurring effect, but it isn't as long lasting as it would be if you baked it. I also tried their Illuminating Fixing Spray, and I did find like I liked the actual like spray itself was fine. Like, it's a nice like heavy mist, I guess. It did have some illumination to it. It did set the powder on my face, but I found that it didn't add to the longevity of my makeup, which is kind of something I'm looking for in a product like this. Next up is their Pro Base Plur. That's not a word. Their Pro Base Blur Primer, and this is a blurring primer that you apply to your skin. It has a clear texture to it, but the reason I don't like it, first of all, let's start with the good stuff. It does blur your skin. Like, I put this on and you immediately notice, like, your skin just looks like plastic. However, it also says that it's illuminating, and by illuminating, they mean there's little specks of gold glitter in it. Just a little bit, not a lot. Like, it's barely noticeable, but it's there. So I don't like that, because nobody needs that in a blurring primer. I'm sorry. I just didn't find that it helped my makeup to stay on any longer than without a primer, and while my makeup did look good throughout the day, it faded earlier than I was expecting with a primer. Next up are their strobe highlighters. These are I have a bunch of them actually, hang on. I have 4 of them here that I've been kind of playing around with. I actually swatched them for you because that was one thing that I noticed that was super irritating. It was really hard to find swatches and seeing what the undertone was going to be for these highlights, so I thought I would save you trouble and show you myself. I found them to be very chalky. The quality of them was almost like too powdery almost, and a lot of them were very glittery. Once you kind of blended them onto the skin, it was just straight up glitter, which I was a little bit disappointed with. Have you guys tried anything from Makeup Revolution? Is there any product that you really like, dislike? Let me know in the comments. I'm kind of curious. And since you're here at the end of the video, go and check out the video that I did on Sunday, where I did a video. I had tested out a ton of products in April. It was just a really busy month for testing new products, and I share with you guys from that massive list. I culled it down to the 5 best and the 5 worst products of everything that I tried. And you can also check out the video I did on my RachhLoves Life channel if you're interested. I was testing out a tasty recipe, and it was, you know, those 2 ingredient ones, you know, those ones where you're like, if I put this egg and this chocolate chip together, I'm gonna make a cake. Yeah, I tested out a bunch of those recipes, so you can go and check that out if you are interested. And that is everything for this buy or buy. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a big thumbs up if you did. And that is everything. I hope you guys are having an amazing, amazing week, and I will see you guys all on Saturday on my RachhLoves Life channel. Love you, girls. Mwah.